you want to know the one truth about the gym and working out, the truth is it's going to take way longer than you initially expect, right? I feel like a lot of people, when they first start training, they think, okay, give me a year or two or a few months, and yeah, I'll have my dream physique. And I'll be honest, man, there's a few reasons for it. One of the reasons I'd say is social media, right? Like you'll always see these reels of people who are genetic freaks and they'll post their 6 month transformation or their 1 year transformation, and everyone else who is impressionable and young, or they might not know a lot about the gym, right? They'll be like, yeah, you know what? If he can do it, I can do it too. Let me try and cut corners. They might hop on steroids, they might try and go in a super big dirty bulk to try and get that same quick transformation. And one thing I learned about life, anything worth having doesn't take, it always takes a long time to build, right? Anything worth having does not happen quickly. It takes years of consistent inputs to ever reach there, right? So the core truth is that your dream physique takes way longer than you initially anticipate. And why this matters, right, is when you're on a cycle or you're on a stage where you want to try something new, right? A lot of people, they start with, crazy amounts of optimism. Okay, I'm going to start going to the gym, and they start like mentally masturbating about all these different benefits that they're going to get, the transformations they're seeing into the future, and dopamine's being released in their brain, right? Where it's like, okay, this is what I'm anticipating. And then they start, and then you realize, okay, it's actually going to take a lot longer than I originally anticipated. Like, this is going to be a lot more of a marathon than just a sprint. And what happens at that point is that you'll get a lot of people that just drop off. They either get inconsistent, or because it's not something that's instantly rewarding, the gym is something that takes a long time physique-wise for you to see real, massive, substantial changes in your body, right? So a lot of people, they don't have this level of patience. I think it's from social media. Like our attention spans as a generation is it's just cooked, right? So people don't have this long-term mindset. And all these social media reels, these social media celebrities who post their transformations, it gives a skewed timeline on how quickly things are actually achievable. And I'm here to say at least 3 to 5 years of training regularly before you're gonna look like you have a good physique, or it's like, yeah, no, this guy definitely works out. And obviously things like genetics makes a big difference as well. If you've got good genetics, you're gonna have a good baseline. You're gonna get results faster. Like me, for example. But most people quit at the expecting stage of that cycle, where they expect the results, they don't see them in the time that they originally anticipated, meaning there's drop off and it's on to the next thing. And what I've seen a lot, because I've been training for 6 years, right? What I've seen a lot is people stop going to the gym, and then I'm very curious as a person, right? So I'll ask them, okay, like, why did you stop training? They'll say, work and stuff like that. Like I was actually doing well, I was seeing a bit of progress, but then I just stopped. Like I went training for 3 months, then I stopped training for 2 months, and then I trained again for 6 months, then I stopped training for a year. And I'm like, bro, why would you do that? It's like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, when you could have just been doing steady progress along the way, right? A lot of people fall into that trap, and then the net result of that, of you doing 3 years of on and off at the gym, is 3 years of mediocre results. So you're just gonna look the same as you did 3 years ago. However, if you're consistent over that period of time, right, and you come into it knowing that it's gonna take a long time, it's gonna mean that you're gonna be in it for the long run. And there's no way, I'm telling you now, there's no way you're not gonna see results, substantial improvement in 3 years' time, 3 to 5 years' time. Like honestly, and even that number, 3 to 5 years of training, right, scares off a lot of people. A lot of people are like, bro, I don't want to spend that much time training. Yeah, I want to I want to look big now. You know what I mean? And what ends up happening, like I said, is that they'll cut corners, or what they don't realize is you're not like 3 to 5 years is gonna happen anyway. Let's say you're 20 now, you're going to be 25. So would you rather be 25 with a mediocre physique, or would you rather be 25 with 5 years of consistent training under your belt? Choice is yours, all right? So, like my story is like I had this same mindset when I was in the gym when I first started out. it was pretty much like, for that first 6 months, I was just eating everything that was inside. And I bulked up quite a bit. I think I got to like 110 kilos. I started off about 80 something. So I put on a lot of size, but most of it was fat. I'll be honest, most of it was fat and water. And it wasn't until I realized, okay, that this is gonna take a lot longer than I originally thought, that I stopped being stressed about, oh, I need to look like this by a certain time, because you knowing in your brain that it's gonna take 3 to 5 years, expanding that timeline, right? It relieves so much stress and pressure of you trying to look a certain way by a certain deadline. Do you know what I mean? You just gotta accept that it's a long-term game, and what that does is it stops the panic and the shortcuts. Like, you're not gonna wanna blast steroids. You're not gonna wanna blast things that aren't even, you know, safe, like peptides and stuff like that. And you're gonna just wanna do the basics over a certain extended period of time, and that way you accumulate marginal gains, like, and over a certain amount of period as well. So over a certain amount of time, it's just gonna be so incomparable to someone who was on and off with the gym. Like, it's a completely different ballpark that you'll be playing in. If you're consistent for 5 years training, there's no way you're not gonna have a cold physique if you're doing it properly as well. And that long-term mindset is what a lot of people struggle to have, and it's kind of sad, to be fair, because it's a really, really simple thing. Like, compounding over a certain amount of time is probably the most powerful tool that you can ever leverage in life. But social media has made it so that a lot of people can't even see past the next year or the year after that. And I think it's something that I've done a lot recently as well, just thinking long term rather than short term. And yeah, man, like, honestly, strap in, measure things in years and not weeks. Like, and another reason as well, going back to my previous point, why people tend to think like this is because when you're in school, right, it's like every term or every year it's like a new thing. Okay, I'm in year 9, I'm in year 10, I'm in year 11, I'm in high school, I'm in university. There's always like a new level to life. But when you've left school, right, it's like, okay, should I still have that mindset? But the truth is, real life is not like that. It takes years for you to see substantial amounts of change. So this whole, like, you know, lock in for 6 months and this and that. Yeah, if you lock in for 6 months in the gym, you'll see a difference. But like the best physiques are built over years, man. Right? If you look at any of the most aesthetic YouTubers or fitness influencers, right, they've been training for like 15 years. At close to 10 years, close to that 10-year mark. I've been training for like 6 years now, and I think I've got the physique I wanted. To be fair, I've got the physique I want, but honestly, the biggest thing I've learned is it takes a lot longer than you initially imagine, like a lot longer. So yeah, I wish someone showed me this video at 17. Would have saved me a lot of time and stress as well. Just having pressure on you, thinking you need to look a certain way by a certain amount of time. So anyone out there is new on their gym journey, take this in, strap in. It's a long journey, and don't forget, consistency over a long period of time is the key. Simple.